I'm Patrick Tuttle, the real estate guy with Coldwell Banker Heritage and Legacy Management Services with your El Paso real estate market update for the month of August 2024, and I'll be right back with that report. All right, I'm back, and before we get too far along, don't forget to hit that like and share button if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn or who knows what other new social platforms have come up in the last 30 days. If that's the one thing that's changing, it's that social is there. There's always something new. Maybe it's on TikTok that you're watching this. Probably not. It's too long. Market overview, August 2024. We're going to talk about existing home sales first. Yes, I'm changing it from resales to existing homes. Got to make it up with the national data, so that's what they talk about. So here's what comes on. I love these lines here because this tells us that our market is doing good. We've got inventory. We've got a lot of opportunities for our buyers out there, and they're the ones that have really hit they make it happen, because the buyers are the ones that get the money to make the purchases happen, and they've got a lot more choices today. Our sellers are feeling it. The market's a little bit sluggish, as we'll talk about here in just a second, but the market is very good. Now, here's what's going on. Sales are still down 2.79 year over year. A year ago, we were still feeling the effects of people trying to catch up because we didn't have a lot of inventory, or rather it was fast-moving inventory. So they're down just slightly, but that was still up compared to what we had, say, back in 2019. We're looking at really good sales overall. Even though it's a negative number, it's a really positive thing that we've got a lot of sales. Months of inventory is up almost 50%. 48.32 is the exact number on the months of inventory percentage up. We are now at 3.1%, 3.1 months of inventory, which is a good level. It's not back to a full balanced market. It's still what we would consider to be a seller's market when you look at the numbers, but that changes by price range and location throughout town. So if you've got questions about your price range and your location, give me a call. I can do the math and we can figure out, are you in a buyer's market, seller's market, or are you in a balanced market in your area and in your price range? Because it does change quite a bit. Average price is still going up. We are at $276,886. That's because we've had so limited inventory overall. It's still a seller's market when you look mathematically, and that's indicative of it when we're looking at an increase in price. $263,987 a year ago, $276,886 this year, so that's an increase in price, and that's due to the demand that we have here in El Paso. Average size of the home went down. We talked about shrinkflation a long time ago. We are at 1,848 square feet. It's not a huge difference there, but it is just slightly down, and the price per square foot continues to move up because we're seeing that inverse relationship with the price of the home and the square footage there as well. Days on market, 64 compared to 54 last year. We're seeing that buyers are taking more time. They're canceling more contracts, and that's because they've got more to choose from, whereas a year ago, 2 years ago, they might have said, you know what, it's the only one, and if we cancel this contract, we don't know when we're going to get back under contract. Today, they've got choices, so they're making those choices, and they're sticking with it. Now, back up here to the average price. $276,886 is the average price here in El Paso, and part of our demand is that there are still people moving into El Paso because it's a very affordable market when you compare us to Texas as a whole, which has an average price at about $310,000, or the nation as a whole when you're getting above $400,000 for the average size home. And you're getting a pretty good size home at 1,848 square feet. This is a great market for us to be in for buyers, and it's a great market for sellers because I'm going to show you the appreciation that you've gotten, and I'll show you that in just a couple of minutes. Now, on to our new homes report. We also have these pretty little graphs, and this tells us that we've got a really healthy market for our new homes. There's a lot of inventory out there. In fact, the sales are up 20%, almost 21% year over year, because the builders have been able to buy blocks of money and offer better interest rates to the consumers, which has stimulated their sales. That's indicative of it right here, where we had 249 sales in the month of August 2024, whereas last year it was 206. Months of inventory is down 9.1% year over year. We're at 5.9%. Realistically, cut that in half because we don't know exactly where they are in the building process, but that's still at least 3 months of inventory that the builders have ready to go. And in some cases, they are paying for all the buyer's closing costs. There are communities in East El Paso and West El Paso where the builders, through their preferred lenders, are paying all of the buyer's closing costs and the fees for the realtors to help them out. So the builders have some great opportunities out there, and I think it's a fantastic thing. Average price is up 0.02%. We're at $315,497 there for a brand new home, and that size is right at 1,840 square feet. So they did drop just slightly than last year. We had a little bit bigger house, but that's mainly because the prices are going up and the price of goods to get into the home is going up as well. So the house itself has to shrink in order to keep that profit margin up for the builder. Price per square foot is up 4.8%. We're at an average of $173.23. Gosh, to date myself, I remember when we were at like $73 a square foot. This is a long way from that. The inventory has gone up. The homes have gotten so much better too. They're beautiful products they're putting on, and the average days on market is 149 compared to 149 last year. Overall, this is a fantastic report because we've got sales that are up on the builders. We're just barely negative on the resales, and the numbers from the sales reports from what people are paying and being happy with those homes is great. And the Fed dropped the overnight rate by 0.5 point last week. That's going to affect our mortgage rates long term. We saw that a couple of months ago. In fact, here's our report on the mortgage rates. Yesterday, we were sitting at 6.02 for a 30-year fixed rate, a 20-year at 5.81, and then when we get down to the fixed rate of an FHA, look at that, 4.66 nationwide. That is cheap money, and that should stimulate getting people into the homes, both on the resale side and on the new home side. And VA, which is a big part of our market, at 5.227. These are fantastic rates, and that interest rate drop last week from the Federal Reserve eventually will make some impact, and they're talking about another potential rate drop in November. If that happens, that would stimulate the economy of resale homes, and it will push the new homes into probably maybe higher prices because of the fact that demand would go up because more people can afford to buy when we get those lower interest rates. So for every 1% in interest rate drop or increase, the buyer either increases their buying power by 10% roughly or loses it by 10%. So that's that relationship that we have, the 1% to 10% ratio. And these are great numbers from the mortgage part. And then from our index returns, just to compare what you would do if you were to look at investment property versus investing in the stock market, they're doing pretty good too. The only negative number on the charts are here in the 1 month S&P mid cap and the S&P small cap, negative 0.21, negative 1.62. Those are pretty much statistically insignificant there unless you're affected by those numbers. But positive numbers across the board. The economy overall is doing very well. The economy in El Paso is doing very well, and we just have to get more homes sold. Now, here is our appreciation chart for Q2. This brings us through Q1 and Q2 through 2024. And what this shows, for those of you who are homeowners, we've got good news. We've had a 3.2% appreciation rate in El Paso for the first half of the year. That means that your investment that you bought last year or the year before or whatever, you're still increasing in value because we are still a very affordable market when you compare to the United States as a whole or just to Texas itself. We're very affordable and you're still making money on your investment. 10% increase in the last 2 years, 7.0 7% last year, 3% this year. Here's what it looks like on the candlestick, where we've had that 3.2%, 7% last year, 9.5% back in 2022, and then of course the big number back in 2021 of 19.4%. Big numbers for El Paso. Overall, a fantastic report on the home sales, whether you're an existing home seller, a new home seller, or you're a buyer. You have more choices today than you've had in the last 5 years for homes that you can purchase. And with the interest rates going down, you're going to be able to buy more home, or you can save that money on the interest rates. And our three key takeaways. There's a lot more inventory for the buyers to choose from, both in existing home sales and the new home sales. Number two, the Fed interest rate adjustment last week will likely increase the mortgage applications, because people will say, hey, they're dropping the rates. Now's the time to apply. We got more inventory. We can go out and buy more home if we want to do more, or we'll save more money on the mortgage payment. And then number three, El Paso is still an appreciating market due to the overall affordability compared to the rest of Texas and the nation. And that, my friends, is your real estate report for August 2024. If you've got questions on this information, how it affects you as a home buyer, a home seller, a landlord, or a tenant, or maybe you're a realtor looking to ask some questions, give me a call. 915-588-1850 is my number. And don't forget to hit that like and share button. Love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. God bless you, and make it a great day. Bye-bye.